Let's talk.
I just want to get to know you and be friends so I can finally have a real dad who loves and respects me.
You can't be me son. You and me are nothing alike. As we say in Ireland, let's drink until the alcohol in our system destroys our livers and kills us.
So this is SEC heaven. Okay, what does SEC heaven look like? A combination Krispy Kreme Cracker Barrel? Yes. Okay, what's your name? Yeah, that would be first name, don't mess with, last name, Texas, okay?
Cracker Cream is crazy title.
I did forget to switch the hat, though, so we're just going to keep rocking. Mean Green will be rock next week. Yes, sir. College football.
The Mean Green!
One definitely drowns out the other, though.
Not particularly this year. But we'll see.
Right.
Oh, can't be worse than last year. I mean, actually, it can. It actually can.
So we'll see about that.
Can always be worse.
Oh, yeah.
This is our first real dive into college football for the 2025 season. The only thing that I've got to present today, and did I even upload the video? I did not. It's not a great video, but in Ireland, where we had the traditional Irish rivalry of Kansas State and Iowa State?
Farmageddon, but don't call it that.
Yeah.
Farmageddon.
The new Red River Shootout. I guess the dad and older brother of the Kansas State quarterback got in a fight outside, a fist fight in a puddle.
Allegedly,
all you can really see in the video.
Allegedly, father and son.
The dad on top of the son.
What was harder to watch, that or the first quarter, thanks to the fireworks and lack of paint on the field? It was an incredible start to the season. College football.
I haven't seen a
so
thing from the
fucking
game. I don't know.
Let me describe to you, because I want to start with week 0. People want to poo-poo it. People don't want to appreciate it, but it is a beauty because it's microdosing college football, which is a good reminder of how stupid the whole product is. And if you have the ability to take in week 0, I do tell people you should do it, because it is sort of just, and you're sort of stuck with just 4 games and you're not really excited about any team. So you truly are just kind of watching the whole thing unfold, whatever this new season of football is. And because we started in Ireland, because they decided to put 2 Big 12 rivals together, it was just funnier this year. First fucking possession ends in a punt, right? Normal, especially under those conditions with these 2 teams.
What conditions?
It was very gross. It was a small.
It was Ireland.
It was Ireland, bro. And so it lived up to the hype, right? And so kid fumbles the punt return. Again, there's also fireworks smoke still in the air at this point.
Oh, you gotta love that.
So I think it was, I forgot who had ball first, but I think it was it would have been Iowa State had ball first. They punt. Kansas State fumbles the punt return, and so literally with the ball almost basically in scoring distance, Iowa State fails to score because they then fumble on a quarterback to running back exchange. So it was an incredible way to bring the college football season back. Like, this is why college football is better than the NFL. Because the NFL, that would have been either just a boring ass fair catch, or he would have returned it for a mediocre gain, or they would have procedurally taken advantage of the fumble, or, whatever. But no, in college football, 2 stupid things happen within moments of each other, because that's how much more fun it is. You mentioned the family feud, some debate whether that's staged or not, but I thought it was pretty funny. It just seemed like they were drunk and fighting. Like, I don't know.
It was, it's not an entertaining video, because I don't know how they end up on the ground. We don't get any of that.
Right.
So.
I don't think I've seen any other Zapruder film to give us further context at all in this one. It was the first notable to some game of the season as well. As the game was already basically put away, Iowa State scoring, basically driving to run clock, not to score. They just happened to be on that side of the field. Kid comes up literally an inch short of scoring a touchdown that would have, been notable to some, as Scott Van Pelt likes to put it. And the first bad beat of the season came down.
That's the thing about gambling. If you're a true gambler, The bad beats never stopped. You're just rolling over from
it's
whatever.
The college football bad beat train, which is easily the best.
Japanese
Again,
baseball game you put money on at 3 a.m.
Again, I think gambling is boring, and I've never really practiced it much. I absolutely go out of my way to watch bad beats. I absolutely love when people talk about college football bad beats, I should say, because they are so funny. They are objectively
There was that bowl game where the guy did like the fake dog peeing thing, and it was a penalty, and they lost the points, and then ended up losing the game.
Exactly. I think that was an NFL future NFL star, right?
I think that was during the Egg Bowl, right?
Yeah, but I think that receiver ended up being pretty good in the NFL for a second. Anyway, that's game one. There was some other games we're not going to talk about, but two that I did want to highlight from that goofy week 0 slate. Fresno State, Kansas, only for two reasons. Kurt Warner's son plays for Fresno State. I don't know if his team's ass or if he was ass, but they were ass, certifiably. Not good. But at the same time, Kansas now officially in the new arena or the new stadium for the whole season. Looks nice, looks good on TV, looks very new. And remember, they were a lot of people's dark horse to win the Big 12 last year. They fell off a train with the start of their season. Even though Fresno State is nobody we're really concerned with overall, was really nice to see them go out there.
You still got to beat the teams you're supposed to beat. So
hey, and do it the right way. Flex and sit the starters by the third, somewhere in the third, right? And they did all that. So that was a good one. That's all I wanted to talk about. So I am interested in Kansas when we talk about the Big 12. And then finally, Stanford, Hawaii. Because, I mean, even though the day was fading on week 0 for us here on the mainland, over in Hawaii, it was just getting started, right? And so Stanford and Hawaii are getting started. If you're laughing about this and understand that this is irrelevant to this year, you're right. But here's why there's some relevance. Do you remember Timmy Chang? Have you ever heard the name?
Oh, yes. Absolutely.
He is now
former
the head
Eagles
coach.
preseason quarterback, by the way.
Yeah, he is now the head coach. And he was of Colt Brennan before Colt Brennan, right? For Hawaii.
Yeah, he was.
He was a deck. I think he was more the 80s, 90s. I don't think he was.
No,
right
Timmy Chang was
Colt.
2000. No, he was.
Was Timmy Chang right before him?
Timmy Chang was the season or two before.
He's only 43.
Okay, maybe I did watch Timmy Chang. Yeah, he is a younger guy. You're right.
He was
Maybe
at
I did
Hawaii
watch
from
Timmy
2000
Chang.
to 2004.
My grandpa.
Yeah, and then Colt Brennan was the
huge-
quarterback for
huge
2005.
fan of that Hawaii run there.
If I'm not
Interesting. He started his GA career at SMU. I wonder how that worked out. Anyways.
Oh yeah, because there was a guy who coached at Hawaii that went to SMU. I can't remember the guy's name.
Nice. Well, so anyway,
June
Jones
Yeah.
is the coach, and he was the guy behind all that. So yes, all of that is fair. Timmy Chang's the head coach in Hawaii now. Interesting to see. They didn't look great. Okay. Was it Tommy? Is it Tommy Chang? What was it?
No, you're right. What I'm checking on here is who he coached for at Jackson State. Oh, it was Harold Jackson, not Dion. Okay.
So yeah, he. I will not say that Hawaii looked amazing in this game. No shade to Hawaii. They got the dub. We'll talk about that in a second. What we're really talking about here is the Stanford Cardinal. Guys, do you know who the head coach of the Stanford Cardinal is currently?
Couldn't tell you.
Caesar, do you have any guess? This is
yes. Oh God,
this is the NFL world.
The Eagles' former OC, Frank Reich.
Frank Reich is now the head coach. Do you know why he's the head coach?
Because he used to coach Andrew Luck.
And Andrew Luck is Andrew Luck is now
runs the football program,
the de facto GM of the Stanford Cardinal.
Game one didn't go well. Rice, wasn't it?
Game one didn't go well at all. Stanford had plenty of chance to win this game, to be Stanford. The quarterback play wasn't great. The receiving play maybe also not great. O-line, whatever you want to say. They were able to establish run. They look like Stanford from that aspect. Defensively, they did enough in this game, I thought, especially because the Hawaii quarterback got hurt at one point. But ultimately, their quarterback play, their passing game was putrid. I mean, putrid. I mean, some of the worst passing I've seen. I'm so excited college football is back. This is why I'm saying, because you'll never see something this bad. This is worse. This wasn't even as bad as this was worse than like Cowboys preseason bullshit. You know what I mean? This was nice. They were
on
trying
par with
out
watching like an early season NCAA men's basketball game.
Yes, exactly. We can't get anything completed, not even the simplest things done. So Stanford had a really bad game from there. All that to say, Stanford's probably going to have a bad year. I don't think that that's going to be indicative of the future of the program, but the schedule doesn't help them this season, and losing to Hawaii in week 0 is not also a benefit. And then, like I said, the quarterback situation, the passing situation, whoever you want to blame it on,
what was the final score of that game?
It wasn't close. It was a 3. It was close. It was a 3-point game, I think, right? Because anyway, the Japanese kicker ends up winning the game for Hawaii,
23-20.
23-20. He ends up winning this game because I think Stanford either goes 4 and out or has a turnover trying to win the game. Like, they can't even get the job done, and Hawaii's basically given an opportunity with a hobbled quarterback to win the game, and they do. It's very embarrassing for Stanford.
Pretty bad for a few years now.
Right. So this is the rebuild officially, right? So I think rebuild year 1 for Stanford is probably not going to be good.
They're also oh, never mind. Go ahead.
The Hawaii kickers who we need to talk about. So obviously he kicked the game-winning field goal. We know this. We know he's a Japanese kid. I just said that. Here's some interesting stuff about him, though. Learned kicking from YouTube. We love that. Shout out. Here's the second thing we love about this kid. He intentionally chose to go to a Midwest smaller school. Obviously, I think he had to go to some smaller programs, D2, before he would be able to even get Hawaii interested, right? So he went to when he was choosing those schools, he chose the Midwest because it would force him to learn English better. This is incredible. This kid's about to be an NFL star right now. Like, what are we talking about? This kid knows what he wants. This is exactly what Aubrey did. These guys are just like, hey, you want to just make a bunch of money?
The Midwest isn't.
No, but like they're the least forgiving about someone speaking not English, I would think. At least in like the South, like you're used to a lot of Creole or Spanish.
I mean, like the Deep South.
I was gonna say like maybe Utah.
I mean, Utah could have been an option, but he said maybe this all got paraphrased a bit on the broadcast, but that was the way it was portrayed to us as the audience, is that he specifically went to the Midwest because that's where he knew that he would be tested on his English
like
the hardest.
The cleanest accent to understand or something. I don't know.
I think there's a possibility of that. Yeah. Maybe that someone gave him the advice the Midwest is the best one to go for American ones. Because if you go to LA or New York, you might get too much diversity necessarily in stuff.
Yeah.
And then when you go to like the South or the North, you have your oops or you have your draws. You know? So
he heard one person from like Louisiana and said, north 1,000 miles, please.
But me myself. Anyway, Stanford, Hawaii was the last part of week 0 to talk about. Week 0 happened, and it's done. Week 1 is actually here, though, boys. Week 1 starts tomorrow in our current existence timeline. As the day goes, today I think is when you record and post this.
Thursday, August 28th.
Yes. So starting with Thursday, tonight, once you're done with this. Boise State versus South Florida. The reason you're watching is because, frankly, this is the only top 25 ranked team you're going to see in the first 2 days. But yeah, it is. But
first 2 days, yeah, sorry.
Right, first 2 days. It's a weird one. We got a lot of days for the first week here.
And usually week 1s aren't overly stacked with.
Well, not anymore though, right? This week is pretty good. This is pretty good. This might be one of the best week 1 slates we've ever had because now the college football playoff is it's made people have a brass set of testicles. Anyway, Thursday, we get Boise State, Florida. I actually don't think South Florida. I don't know anything about South Florida. Why would I? But
they have they wear green.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, you probably still could have convinced me Charlie Strong was their head coach, and I would have gone with it. And I know that's not true. So
not the Hurricanes.
No, they're the Bulls. I know that. So Boise State, I don't know. I think a lot of people are a little sluggish on Boise State. Okay, but we're interested just
Big
to
12
see.
now.
Nah, they're still
No,
the Mountain
it's
West still
the
exists.
Pac-12.
Pac-12.
No, they moved to the new Pac-12. Or
Oh, there's
whatever
a new Pac-12 now, right?
whatever the name they're going by is, if I'm not mistaken.
Fuck, dude, I forgot. Yeah, dude, I'm so confused. I gotta catch up on that. Let's see. Anyway,
Am I being fact-checked?
I can do it.
I'm on it. Sorry, that's why I was not making
No
words. No, they're not Pac-12.
What is it called, dude? What are the conferences
There's only two
called?
teams in the
They're
Pac-12.
not, they're still in the
Yeah.
Mountain West. Okay, never mind.
Yeah, the Mountain West still exists. Okay, I'm not tripping.
I thought the Pac-12. Oh, wait, the Pac-12 is did recruit teams. I think it's just not for this season.
Right.
I think I think that's
If I'm
the
not
goal
mistaken.
is long term to still have the
just Oregon State and Washington State.
So yes, Nebraska and
That's
Cincinnati is the other game today that you're going to watch after you're done watching this. So you have
Or in
Boise
the
State,
past.
South Florida, or in the past. You're going to go back in time. But the Boise State one, again, probably not that great. Nebraska, Cincinnati is going to be good, right? This isn't the Big 12, but it's kind of the Big 12 if you squint. Nebraska, obviously, in the Big 10. Dylan Raiola, Matt Rule in year 3. There's a lot of people that'll be looking at them as a team that should be in the top 25 this year. Cincinnati, what are they going to do long term in the Big 12? Are they going to actually be here and contribute to the Big 12, or are they just going to be another pushover bottom feeder? Because they might be. Friday night. You could go out.
Games tomorrow. What the hell? Sorry.
There's a lot of games, but there are a lot of. But I just gave you the 2 that you're gonna watch. You know what I mean? You're not watching a lot of the other ones.
You don't think I'm watching?
Go ahead.
Elon and Duke.
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead and mention all.
SFA and Houston.
So I mentioned this is a great week 1 slate, but only if you look at it from my point of view. From what I just took away. If you actually look at the full slate, it's incredibly saturated with books.
I mean, there's just so many teams. It's always going to be.
But yes, Nebraska and Cincinnati, that'll be the other game. Friday, Auburn, Baylor. I know. But while Auburn and Jackson Arnold, who's now their quarterback, and we'll get to all the quarterbacks going all over the place in a bit, but Jackson Arnold obviously flamed out at OU, now lands at Auburn. Baylor returns Sawyer Robertson, very talented guy. Dave Aranda is probably in the make or break year of his whole tenure there. People feel like Baylor is a legitimate dark horse for the Big 12 this year. And so that'll be an interesting one to watch. Know that neither team is ranked thus far, but both teams have a lot as far as the future goes. Hugh Freeze, the head coach over in Auburn, also kind of in Aranda's position. And then after that, Georgia Tech, Colorado. Again, Georgia Tech is an interesting one. They have the kid, the Haynes King from Texas A&M, and then Caden Salter, who was kind of a big deal for a bit there with Liberty University. He's now the starting quarterback for primetime in Colorado. So it'll be interesting to see what those teams look like. Again, we're not talking about any top 25 teams on Friday, but I do think some teams that'll likely be in the top 25 throughout the season at some point.
You mean you're not going to watch the Tarleton Texans against Army?
Yeah, dude. I'm telling you, it's week 1 for sure.
Listen,
but don't worry.
Tarleton has produced an NFL player, though. His name is Darius Cooper, and he's on the Philadelphia Eagles now.
I see. Okay, so
NFL powerhouse factory, Tarleton State.
Here is the moment you guys are waiting for. Probably the only
country singer Co Wetzel was a Tarleton State Texan linebacker.
Who the fuck is that?
You never heard of Co Wetzel?
Nope.
He's a Fort Worth guy.
Saturday, start of the day, 11 a.m. Arch Manning officially begins his tenure as the starting quarterback of the Texas Longhorns.
Oh my God, it's a morning game?
It is a morning game, and it is in the Ohio State University campus, Columbus, at the Shoe. So,
man. Interesting.
You guys
know,
ready
maybe-
for that?
God damn it.
All right, you know what? Can I give you my? Are we doing predictions on this game? Are we?
You
Gonna
can do
that?
predictions on this one. I mean, I told you this one. You guys can go nuts on. You guys can get into the nitty gritty on any of them. I just know that this one is the let it fire.
Well, listen. I want to remind the people that it has been 20 years since we saw a Vince Young led Texas Longhorns team go into the Horseshoe and take down Ohio State en route to a national championship. It was a tough game, 25-22. I believe that was the closest game the Longhorns played all year during the regular season.
Still Troy Smith, the quarterback for the Bucks.
I want to say it was the year before he took over, because I think Troy Smith was a 2-year starter at Ohio State.
I think Troy was there I think he started most of his career.
Todd Beckman.
Oh.
Yeah, but a young Titkin Jr. was on that team, by the way.
That's a freshman quarterback, too. Wait, sorry. Troy Smith, sophomore, redshirt sophomore. There you go.
Oh, so he was there.
I was like, that doesn't make sense.
Either way, it was a tight game.
Santonio Holmes.
God, look at that. Those teams were stacked.
Bobby
Even though that Ohio State team didn't really.
I mean, you can say very similar of this team on the other side.
They're both stacked teams. I mean, so Vince, there's a reason they're 1-3. At least on paper, they're stacked teams.
That was Vince's full-time starter his sophomore year.
Yes,
should be
full time. Yeah,
Was he still?
His sophomore year was the year that he went to the Rose Bowl against Michigan.
Right, but is he still sharing time that year before that?
No, he was sharing time his freshman year.
But
there's a but.
I don't think
2004 is not the year Texas played Ohio State.
No.
They played back-to-back years though. Or it was a back-to-back series because Ohio State beat Texas. Texas beat Ohio State and then vice versa.
Texas beat Ohio State in 2005. In 2006, Ohio State went into Austin, beat Texas when a young Colton McCoy was the starting quarterback.
There you go. Okay, 25-22.
Look at that. My memory is iron tight.
So the storyline of this one is Arch versus a retooled Buckeyes, but realistically, you should also look at the Longhorns as the retooled Longhorns. I think is fair to say.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So
listen,
like every skill position player, pretty much.
I think that this is going to be.
They mirror each other greatly in a lot of ways.
And I think this game will mirror the game from 20 years ago. I think it's going to be a real close game, and it's going to be the Arch Manning coming out party, like this was for Vince Young. Just saying.
Yeah, I mean, it's got to have to be on the running backs. It's probably going to be ugly. I think the most unfortunate thing for Texas, even though I think Texas should be the number one team, I think almost anyone would agree that they are the deepest roster in football on paper. However, Ohio State might have the two best players on the whole field with Jeremiah Smith and Caleb Downs. So that is an unfortunate reality for Longhorn fans in this situation. Is yes, their quarterback is far less experienced, which is ultimately what Texas's biggest benefit is going into this, because Arch isn't as inexperienced, not even the pedigree. You get into all the other stuff, but if he was even just fucking Joe Buttfuck, he still, has played college football before, reps. And he has started games before, not great ones,
and
but they have.
Getting to what you alluded to earlier, even though this decision was made a long time ago for this game, but the way that it works now is you can lose this game and it's not the end of the world like it would have used to have been in a lot of our lives of college football.
Yeah, it's different though in a way, because
it changes the projection of where you're going to go, but if you win every game after this, then you're good. That did not used to be the case.
In these two teams' cases, it also helps that their conferences are so goddamn stacked that, yes, they are both similar boats. Unfortunately for Texas in this case, just like all the SEC teams, they're going to continue to do Wofford games when they can, because they know that they're really worried about when they have to play Georgia or Florida or whatever it is, whoever it is, however it is.
We'll see. We've
You
got a
do.
few more scheduled out for a few more years, and then
But Ohio State obviously still has Oregon and Michigan that they have to get on
it's not
you
easy
know,
for anybody
every
in
year.
these-
So Penn
these
State,
big
there's just a lot of
conferences.
talent on these two conferences now.
I believe all time it's a 2-2 matchup. They haven't played too many.
Yeah. Is this a series moving forward, or did this just happy?
Do we? So we didn't. We played Michigan last year. So then, yeah, we have one more against Ohio State next year
Okay.
in Austin.
Yeah, and I
don't
mean,
remember
we're going
who's
to continue
scheduled
to
after
see
that.
this, especially between the SEC and the Big Ten, because it also gives them both the same excuse, right? It's like, oh, but we also play our non-conference games against the rival conference.
And I was gonna say, at least this year it's on the road. So if we do lose, that's step in. Oh wait, okay, so yeah, next year we have Ohio State in Austin. Then we go back and play Michigan in Austin the next year. Notre Dame the year after that. Notre Dame the year after that.
Notre Dame probably be in the Big Ten by then.
And then 2030 is when we don't have anything big scheduled outside of UTSA.
And that's when we get into our larger plan at the end of this segment. So yeah, I mean, I don't know, boys. If you have nothing else, it's we don't know a lot about these teams because there is a lot of turnover for these two. But we know ultimately these are very stacked groups. We know that if you haven't by now, you've probably heard ad nauseum the Arch Manning of it. So is there anything else? I mean, you guys can still go in on the Arch stuff. It's just at this point, I'm ready to watch goddamn football.
It may surprise you to know that our head coach Fight Club doesn't exactly get me in football mood. So once I actually see it on a screen, I'm going to be a lot more interested in what.
And you're getting
and
you're going in hard with this one. I mean, I know it doesn't mean that much.
I've never anything close to this. I don't know if we've ever had a 1 versus 3, or if you look at the coaches poll 1 versus 2 the first week of a season. Are you kidding me?
To start the season, and I'm talking about 11 a.m. and because again,
Big
like week
kickoff,
0,
sir.
huh?
So
Whatever.
that's a big noon kickoff.
Whatever. So
That's just what they call the show.
Which the Thursday and Friday games will probably be watched by people like me, if possible, or the other sickos. But ultimately, the full audience tunes in that time of day on Saturday, and they're still alive.
Ohio State is barring Dave Portnoy from the stadium before the game.
I did not. Why is this?
Because he's a Michigan guy. He's like a booster for Michigan.
So he was just going to rep Texas or some bullshit?
Or they just don't want...
So they did. They
don't want the mega booster from their rival to be hanging out in their stadium. I think it's fair.
Like any of that stuff is even holding any of those dudes back from doing shit. I don't
cut
care.
It out for a few hours at least. Come on.
Do y'all want to do a projection at all? Do y'all care?
Oh, Texas is gonna win.
Yeah,
I would lean Texas because I think it's Julian Sayin is the quarterback. I do think his experience just a little less.
Yeah, I was gonna say I'll be more worried to play Ohio State later in the season for sure.
Yeah, I'm gonna give you an exact score, fellas.
And it's also Texas defense. Colin Simmons. You have Anthony Hill. This is a big team.
I'm gonna say that this is going to mirror the one from 20 years ago, but it's not gonna be 25-22. This one's gonna be 26-23. It'll be.
All right,
right on.
We all take
Texas
score. And good. There you go, Buckeyes. So if that's how you start your day, if you're a college football sicko who's just going to be plastered in front of the TV all day, we're doing other stuff while having it on.
Because after that game, I might go get plastered depending on how it goes.
Exactly. So the 2:30 slate isn't the greatest, I'll admit, but the 2:30 slate does have Bama, Florida State. And that would be what I would say to watch if you're in that position. Bama's 8. Obviously, Kalen DeBoer in second year has got some history, kind of like Matt Rule in his third years everywhere. We'll see if that continues. He's got a new quarterback in Ty Simpson. We'll talk about all the new quarterbacks in a second. And the Florida State Seminoles are desperate as hell. The good thing is they don't really have much to lose because they lose to Bama. They were supposed to lose to Bama. And if they win, then they get all their dignity back from going 2-10 immediately after bitching at everybody for screwing them out of the playoff the year prior. So it does have a lot of storylines if you follow the college game.
I think
But
that one of my biggest problems with the way they present college football, and the fans do this crap too, is these storylines where they're like, these teams hate each other.
well,
They haven't
there's
played in 15 years. And these
Yeah,
these guys who were all in diapers the last time that these two teams knew anything about each other.
I don't think there's anything between Bama and Florida State that is nostalgic for me. And this hasn't been a rivalry of my
It just
lifetime.
feels like college football is uniquely, I guess, just because it's players can only play for so long. It's
Maybe so, but this one is interesting because Bama's in a very intriguing year. We want to know they're talented. People think that they could be just as good as anyone else in the SEC. Why not? Issue is obviously the pressure of following Saban. Florida State is expected to be one of the best powerhouses in the country, falls on its face quite often in doing so, but has won a championship not that long ago and one before that not that long ago. So, in relative terms, obviously. So this is an interesting game because storyline-wise, Mike Norvell losing this in a blowout could end up getting him fired. Their quarterback also is talk shit. He's the little Boston college quarterback who transferred over in Castellanos, except for you do pronounce the L's on it. So yeah, you have this guy. Okay, cool. I don't know. We'll see, but that'd be the game. That would be my 2:30 slot game if I'm all day.
Do you think if it's going poorly and Alabama's beating them by like 40, he's gonna be like, "Oh, I could have been playing against Fordham right now with Boston College"?
Yeah, I mean, Billy O'Brien's still over there, so he would still have the quarterback's guru guy. But Florida State is probably going to be a good team this year. But yeah, it might take like a tough loss to Bama to start the season off because like, what are you supposed to do? Beat Bama? Just like you can't fix it that quickly. 2 losses to beating Bama, even this version of Bama. I don't know. And then the 6:30 slate, which is usually the best games anyway, and usually the prime slot for everyone to go out and watch the games, is arguably the best of the whole week. LSU Clemson. Battle for the rights to call your stadium Death Valley.
That'd be a good one.
I mean,
that's another top 10 matchup. That's pretty wild.
You get 4 versus 9. Yeah. You get the 2 top quarterbacks in the draft projected, I think, right now with Garrett Nussmeier and Cade Klubnik. Klubnik had really looked like sort of a failure at some point to live up to the Trevor Lawrence hype. And then last year was really good. Honestly, probably could have, with a little more help, beaten Texas in that playoff game. So, I do think that ultimately Clemson is a team to watch this year. We've been hate watching Dabo, but I think Dabo's boys are probably going to have something to say this season. And LSU is in a tough position because they've spent a metric fuck ton of money. They expect to be one of the best teams. And they got a former NFL guy's son who's like potentially could play himself into being the number 1 overall pick at their quarterback position. So stakes are high. Stakes are high in Baton Rouge, but they got to go through Death Valley Junior, as they call it, to start the season, and that might be too tough. So, I
think I'll be tuned into AR Pine Bluff. That's probably Arkansas. Arkansas Pine Bluff versus Texas Tech.
Well, Texas Tech also. I know you're joking, obviously, but
maybe Southeast Louisiana versus Louisiana Tech. That might have been a funnier one.
Yes, but you did bring up a good team to look at. Texas Tech is interesting. They've spent a lot of money. There were stories about their boosters off this. We are interested in the NIL era to see what Texas Tech does.
Holy crap! We have 3 top 10 matchups.
Yep, and then we're getting to Sunday.
I didn't even realize there were Sunday games.
Yep. Oh, we got a Monday one too. That's honestly might be the best one of all.
Oh,
Sunday.
Hilarious.
Sunday is Virginia Tech at South Carolina. That's gonna be the 2 p.m. game. Maybe you guys are laughing at that one. Virginia Tech. What have they been notable for a while? But Scar finished this is the 3rd best team in the SEC last year.
I think they're currently ranked as the 5th in the SEC by the polls.
We're going to get to it later. I'm very high on Lenora Sellers, their quarterback. I think he's a big prospect. Also could be in play for the number 1 pick at some point if they play well.
And we'll talk about that. I'm gonna follow his season all year long.
Yeah, I mean, he's a very talented individual, and Scar is talent, and they've got depth. And actually, this is Beamer, right? Shane, isn't Beamer the head coach of Scar?
The young Beamer?
Legacy. Yeah, he's the legacy. The Frank Beamer daddy legacy is Virginia Tech. So
Yeah.
I think that's right. I'm pretty
Yeah,
sure
that is correct. He is
Shane
the head
Beamer.
coach. Shane Beamer.
So yeah, that's a fun one. Again, it may not be a good game, but Stellars is someone to watch.
There's a guy on South Carolina roster named Gunnar Yoakum. He's an athlete.
It's Dwight Yoakam's boy. So
Yoakum, I barely even know him.
6:30 is the last top 10 matchup you're talking about. Returning of Catholics versus convicts. Notre Dame, Miami. Carson Beck steps into Miami.
Oh, we get the punch again.
CJ Carr, grandson, I believe, of Lloyd Carr, former great Michigan head coach, is taking over the Notre Dame. This is Notre Dame going to a young quarterback for the first time in a few years, so that'll be interesting to watch. They've sort of been in the Iowa world, other than the last 2 years where they went out and obtained quarterbacks more or less. They really had been stuck in kind of a purgatory of the most mid white boys you can possibly find at the position, and it's really set their program back. It'll be interesting to see if this helps them a little bit in being a better team. I think most people are picking Miami in this game. It's in Miami. Carson Beck is probably going to also want to right his season from last year. There's a lot of redemption stories for the number one pick race for sure. But he's more, Miami's loaded too. So I think it'll be interesting. And Carson.
Is Anthony Rezek still on that team?
Ghost.
I don't know.
He was the quarterback last year, wasn't he? Am I wrong?
For who?
Notre Dame?
No, Notre Dame last year was Myers Leonard.
Oh, no, he did not see playing
what
time.
was his
I'm
name?
an idiot.
It was Leonard something, right?
I don't know why I know this guy's name. Doesn't matter.
No, it was,
Riley Leonard. Riley
Leonard.
There we go.
Yeah. So yeah, that was the situation there. So that one's going to be a big one. And then Caesar, we're turning in big time on Monday to watch TCU versus North Carolina.
Well, of course we are.
Do you know why? Well,
of course.
Yes,
Bill
because
Belichick
the NFL
himself.
isn't here. Yeah, exactly. And the Rangers are eliminated. So, in my mind. And so, this is the premiere of the Bill Belichick Tar Heels. I don't know how much you guys have followed the North Carolina Tar Heels program this summer, but it's been kind of funny. There are people who are mildly unsure of the depth chart because players were not having numbers on their jerseys for quite a while. I don't know if that even ever changed or not. I would assume it probably did eventually, but there was a lot of that. And then
Bill.
And thankfully today we had an amazing report come out just in time for this, that Bill Belichick's camp, and I don't know that this is actually in line with North Carolina specifically, but I mean, they hired it. It's their employee, right? Trademarked the term gold digger. This is one of many, but let's just start with this one. This one.
What do you mean? How?
They are trademarking gold digger.
Did they actually, or did they just apply to?
I think they're applying for a situation here. So that one is in hopes to launch a jewelry fashion brand. I'm sure you can tell who helmed this idea and where this idea might be coming from. But we'll leave that for Pablo Torre to handle. The other ones that are being trademarked or applied for, Chapel Bill. Okay.
Chapel Bill is a good one. That's
fair enough.
That one makes more sense.
Really hate this one specifically. The Bellustrator. Why are we coming at Jay Billis? Is it because he's a Duke guy? The Bellustrator. That's a great name because he does the telestrator with the basketball thing. Why else would you be the Bellustrator?
Has he been called that before?
Yeah, the Bellustrator is I think Scott Van Pelt nicknamed Jay Billis that on ESPN a long time ago.
That makes sense.
But I don't think, but Belichick, the Bellustrator, what is he doing? I guess he's on there doing I guess it's because he's breaking down X's and O's for the guys on the telestrator. I think there's
a different, is he the illustrator of the offense? So they're doing Billustrator like that.
I don't know. That one was bad, but trust me, it's not the worst one. Then there's two that are just very corny. No Days Off and the Belichick Way. Okay, we know such football guy, but guys, and I need you to really be stopped for this one.
1 second.
Let me give you the last one, because this one I promise is not me fucking with you. The Trail of Salty Tears.
Ooh.
What?
So
This is how I know that how old is she? 23-year-old white woman came up with that. That's how I know. That's how I know.
She's equating the haters to genocide.
what is
Wow.
the idea that they're gonna brand with that, or they think that's what they think someone's gonna use against them?
That one I don't know, man. Honestly, I might need to double check that one for authentic. But this is all the story. Everyone who's running with this story is running with the same information. So if someone's fooled us, then they've done a great job. But this one's
Wild.
very tough. Trail of Salty Tears it's a hell of a decision.
That sounds like one you could get done because no one's using it.
Yeah. I would imagine there's not a lot of competition.
To what end? I don't know.
Yeah, exactly.
All right.
So there you go.
If we're gonna do this last section, we got rapid fire some stuff.
Yeah, that's fine. So ranked teams with new quarterbacks. It's notable top 10 teams: Texas, Ohio State, Georgia, Notre Dame, Oregon, Bama, Miami, all have new starting quarterbacks. Only one of them is a former starter in Carson Beck, but most of them have been the team's previous backup quarterback. And then Michigan's going to have Bryce Underwood. He's a big-time prospect. That's an interesting one to look at. OU was able to land John Mateer. This is also coming with the offensive coordinator from Washington State. So this is a very desperate attempt, but honestly a really good attempt, in my opinion, from Oklahoma.
Smart move, even if it doesn't work.
Yeah. Indiana ends up taking Mendoza from Cal. That'll be an interesting one to watch. And then Ole Miss and Tennessee both lost interesting quarterbacks in funny ways for Tennessee. Those guys not as interesting as players, no offense to them, but that is notable. And then there's about 15 other teams I could probably rattle off that are interesting because of their quarterback transfers that aren't currently ranked. So we're just going to say thank you to the portal. And that is more or less the fast way of saying quarterback change is here to stay. Heisman talk. MGM's got Arch Manning, Garrett Nussmeier, Clade Kubnick, Jeremiah Smith, Lenoris Sellers, and Drew Allar. I'm going Lenoris Sellers, Clade Kubnick, Jeremiah Smith is my final three in the Heisman.
It's a good one. Yeah.
Arch Manning is going to win the Heisman.
So, yeah, you're talking Texas quarterback, LSU quarterback, Clemson quarterback, Ohio State receiver, Scar quarterback, Penn State quarterback, basically is what that is.
I think because of the way that program is set up in South Carolina, Lenoris Sellers is going to have to do everything.
Yeah.
And the quarterbacks that do everything, as long as they have the wins attached to that resume,
that's gonna be the tough part.
Resume. Yeah,
I mean it's definitely not going to be an easy path. But they aren't.
I think it's always
desperate.
someone who I never heard of unless they were like a finalist the year before. So I have no idea.
Well, they weren't. Scar is not as plagued with talent as they've had in the past, right? This is as talented as a group as they've had maybe since Spurrier had them rolling not that long ago. Conference talk. The favorite for the Big 12 is Arizona State. This would be the first repeat winners since Oklahoma, who is the only team who's ever done it in the Big 12, actually.
I mean, it's only a 20-year-old conference.
Yeah, not a super old conference, but still a very funny fact, in my opinion.
And considering they had two very good teams on opposite divisions, well, one really good team and one that was good most of the time.
I've talked about a lot of dark horses in the Big 12 already, but Utah is my actual favorite dark horse for the Big 12 championship.
I'll take Tech.
Fair. ACC, the favorite is Clemson. I probably would also lean with that. I went ahead and gave Georgia Tech the dark horse tag here. Don't have a lot of faith in the ACC outside of Clemson.
So you're telling me Florida State's not in the ACC?
They're there, but I don't know if they're my dark horse. The Big 10 favorite is Ohio State. Dark horse, Indiana. They got a good transfer quarterback. People think Indiana might take a step back. I think that is not going to be the case.
So why is Penn State ranked number 2 in the country if they're not?
We got to do this every time. I'm one of those people who, you have this theory with the Clippers, I think is your favorite example. It's that with Penn State for me, is I just don't believe in this team until they force me to. SEC favorite is currently Texas. Dark horse, you're not going to like this. I do think the Aggies are a more interesting team than we should consider, but I do think that ultimately Georgia is my dark horse because they should be
Fair.
where Texas is probably. But their quarterback's lame, but this usually works. They got the lame, boring white guy. That's a formula for the SEC. We'll see. Final thing, playoff changes. Top 5 seeds are done by ranking, not by conference. So the Notre Dame can be a top 14 finally. Changes
and
are
you could have 2 from the same conference in the top 5 also.
Changes to what they're ranking on, but really now there's a strength of schedule component that they've actually attached to it. I forgot. They were explaining on ESPN, but it's stupid. Don't worry about it. There's a strength of schedule concept that they've introduced to try to give you a statistic.
I'm okay with that if it's something that's built throughout the year, not based on where someone was going into a game.
No, I think it will also move with the functionality of the season, but that might make the statistic more or less useful to some. I don't care. I think it's a statistic that's just to show you something to feel better, and the reality is it's still, dude, trust us.
In the South Park, cut the head off chicken and throw it in a pit and see where it lands.
Exactly. And then the final thing we need to talk about, at least to mention, to joke about, to laugh at, unless you're Reese Davis, you might blow a gasket. If you haven't been watching ESPN, Reese Davis seemed to be trying to almost get a censorship rating every time this gets brought up. The ESPN is reporting that 24 to 28 team playoff is in talks right now.
Sure.
And mostly this means probably that super duper conferences are.
It seems inevitable. I would just wish that they would just get that all sorted and then decide how they want to finish the season instead of having to keep adjusting it every time conferences.
It might go fast, but I think it's going to continue to be a slow progression towards inevitably that end. Yeah.
Especially because you have TV deals that stretch out years. So
yeah, but next week we'll have plenty to laugh about, to chat about, and I'm sure most of those games I highlighted will be blowouts, but I'm sure there will be a couple that'll be notable.
All right. Well, that brings us to halftime, which means professional football is about to take over the show.